So I am going to record this so that your sister or other people who can't be here tonight can benefit from it later on. So
Okay.
Dennis, part of what we're doing, and actually I just let one of the Engelbergers in, so I'll wait to say that.
Yep.
I think they can probably hear me. So Dennis and the Engelbergers, Judy or Gary. Hi, Judy. What we're doing is we're just taking this first 4 or 5 minutes now to share what you're looking for. And hopefully it's something that I've already prepared to have in this presentation. And if not, it's maybe something that we can, tack on to the end. And if I don't know, I'll try to go find it. I can tell you where hopefully we can find it.
Okay.
Hi, welcome. Come on in, please.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome. Please come on in.
Sharon, this is the book club, right?
Oh,
No. I was going to say, I thought you guys, so, I would imagine in Fellowship Hall.
If you want to come to that Zoom meeting about the Gutenberg, Google and all that stuff, Facebook, send them.
The gift group, right? Kelly. Here.
We have coffee after.
Yes. Let me turn the lights on.
I'm with her. I'm following her.
It's something. While we're waiting, Paula, can you unmute and let us know, is your sister doing all right there? Have you heard from her in Tampa?
I have. It's just windy, rainy, and no power loss. She did have a flicker and then started wondering, but they have really good luck where she is as far as tornadoes and hurricanes. They don't seem to get hit there very often. They do get a lot of wind and rain, residual stuff, but yeah, as of right now, she is having no problem other than just wind and rain.
I guess I would just looked at the Weather Channel on my way over, and I guess that's a Cat 4 now. And I guess the big blow is around 11 or 12 midnight, and it's high tide, which is just that's crummy, absolutely crummy timing. But
yeah, I guess they don't have those very often in the evening. Most of this bad weather happens during the day, so that's not a good thing.
yeah, wow. Well, and what's your sister's first name?
Susan.
Susan, thank you.
Thank you. She has a daughter that lives north, like between Tampa and Tallahassee, Crystal River. So she's a little concerned about her having to evacuate, but I think it might just get the edge of them as well. I think most of it's going to hit Tallahassee from what I heard on the news.
I guess all those folks are used to being divvied up into what zone A, zone B, zone C,
right.
Right. Wow, that's something. Susan, okay.
Oh, and we have 3 other admits. Susan Harper, Kelly Engelberger, and Frank's new iPad.
Hey, Frank. I'd be interested on our list, if you have, I'm interested in some of the things you have experienced. Oh, Gina LaBelle, good. That you've experienced that we don't reach for that. We don't need to do that. Things like TikTok or some other things that are out there that look like they could be possibilities, but maybe that isn't the best thing to do or whatever. If you have those kind of caveats, that would be great.
So we have Mr. or Mrs. iPhone signing in, which is fine. I'm just teasing. And we're about at 7, so we'll give people just a little bit more time.
That's good.
Go, you can switch that to.
It's good to go. Yeah, Gina and Dave, thanks for joining in. So appreciate you coming in, and all the rest of you that are coming in. And there's Carrie right there.
Hello, I'm Carrie Dowdy from East Butler.
And I'm David Paul.
There we go.
We have this on my phone so that you can see better, and we have it on the screen here. And we'll be doing a lot of screen share. So you won't have to try to see it through my dinky little camera over here.
Pretty nifty little tripod you have there.
You know, this is a neat little story. During the pandemic, our tech person and I were on the phone talking. And this was like very early. And after that phone call, I went online onto Amazon and bought a mic that you can hook up to your iPhone because we were having people do guest things. And the sound often is just very echoey. If you get a professional level mic, which you can. So I got that, and he got a green screen. We didn't talk about doing this. We talked about what we could do. I went and did that. He went and did that. Next thing you know, we're green screening people, you know, doing the scripture reading or doing a prayer or doing different things like that.
Yeah.
Which was a neat way for people online to feel engaged with people, familiar faces, people they knew, etc.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're actually at time. So why don't we just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen with you. And I believe you should be able to see that now, right? And you can see that well?
Yeah.
Now, what do you see online? Do you see the speaker view, which has the slide a little bit, or is the slide filling up the whole thing? Those of you who are online.
It's just an orange bar that goes across the center of the screen.
I agree.
That's what we're
Oh.
seeing.
Yes, that's what I see.
There you go.
Okay, let me try this then. Maybe I don't. Let's try this. Well, that didn't do it. Don't worry, we'll get there. I'm going to take this out of a second desktop.
And you may have somebody waiting. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys can watch that, that would be great. Okay, and let me go share screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see the whole slide. Do you see the whole slide, or do you, oh, you probably see just that little thing again. Okay.
The orange bar.
Hey, the gift group is meeting in Fellowship Hall or in one of the other rooms, if that's okay. Not if that's okay. It's got to be okay. Okay, so I think what I need to do, they're reading some good stuff, So I don't want that view. Okay. I want,
There we go.
there you go. Can you guys see that now?
Not anything different that I can see.
Okay, give me a second. And I believe that we'll get there.
I guess we don't have anybody in there.
There's something.
Oh, yay.
There we go.
Little success there.
Wants an
Okay.
update.
It does want an update. So let's see if I go like this now. Can you guys see that now?
Yes.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So from Gutenberg to Google, that's really a pastoral play on words. And quite frankly, I would say it's from Gutenberg to Facebook, but Gutenberg to Google sounds better. And quite frankly, the argument here is that the church must transform social media into social ministry to stay relevant, let alone to be vital in today's world. And I'm going to briefly make the case for that statement and then give you an outline of 5 or 6 things that you can do that can help you and your congregation get to that level. First thing I want to make sure very, very clear, nothing will ever replace human touch. We are in the relationship business. And nothing will ever be as good as being there live and in person. But what we need to realize is we're up against something much bigger, much stronger, and that has infinitely more money than we do to be able to reach out to people and grab their attention and actually even monopolize it and make it addictive. The average person younger than me nowadays does do spiritual things and church things online. And no offense to anybody, but if I can watch Joel Osteen, I don't really like him. Okay, he smiles too much, but the best preachers in the world, why would we listen to David Paul? So what we need to do is we need to make a bridge there. We need to be online where they can get it Monday through Friday, or excuse me, Sunday through Sunday, anytime, the morning, noon, or night. We have a truck driver who, quite frankly, when he has to take a break, that's when he worships with us. And I can watch where he's traveling around the world, around the country, excuse me. But nothing is going to replace love. Doesn't seem to make a difference. I share that because time and again, the number one thing, there'll always be someone in the crowd who will say, yeah, but we want them here and in person. And they need to come to church. Well, let me tell you another story of a couple who 1 year they had cancer, their spouse had cancer. Then the next year he broke his leg. Then the next year she broke her arm, and the next year he had cancer. They literally for 4 years went back and forth between being either very vulnerable or not being able to travel. And so they've really fallen in love with worshiping online. I've gone and visited them and they say, I hope you don't mind, no offense. Calvin's still our home. We still get to see people out in the community and stuff. It just happens to be that on Sunday morning, this is the best option for us. So yeah, technology is never going to replace love. But if we don't take advantage of the literally almost free gifts that we have in technology, we're missing out. And I say that realizing that this phone isn't free, but 90% of Americans nowadays, 18 and older, have a smartphone. So yeah, we have the ability to do this. Okay. No, we don't want to watch that again. We want to go to the next slide. Okay. So why the church must transform. So in the early 2000s, Facebook didn't even exist. Twitter was still a sound. The cloud was still in the sky. 4G was a parking space. Applications were what you sent to college. Big data was a good name for a rap star. And Skype, for most people, was a typographical error. These are all now, here we are, what, 24 years later? Common words that we all use, and they're common, part of our vernacular nowadays. There was a digital revolution that happened in 2007. That's the year that the iPhone was released. Facebook left college campuses. Okay. Twitter was spun off. Google bought YouTube and launched on Android. Netflix began streaming, and one of my favorite places on earth, Blockbuster Video, basically went.
Wow.
I think there's one in like Seattle, Washington, or something like that. Yeah, on the West Coast. Amazon released Kindle, and internet users surpassed 1 billion people worldwide. So that's my argument for why the church must be a part of what God is doing in transforming social media into social ministry. So now I want to give you the top 5 things that I believe we need to do. And it's not just I believe. I'll give you a bibliography at the end. And I printed out some papers for those of you who are here in person. And I'll be happy to post this where everybody here can get it also.
You want me to go ahead and?
Yeah. Do you know where our copier is? Go straight ahead and you'll see a light on us to the right. That's not those. Just don't go into my office because it's a mess. I'll wait for him to come back here. Actually, I'll talk a little bit more. The number one thing that the 5 books I've read about this, the probably 10 white papers that I've read about this, and experience that I've had. So a lot of you heard me say, at the Presbytery meeting that, my parents and my brother always give me a hard time about being on social media too much. And I tell them, fund for me a free PR account and I'll never touch social media again. And they shut right up. The fact of the matter is, it is free for us. The truth is, we're just the target. We're the audience. They're trying to sell stuff to us. So why wouldn't the church take advantage of that? Did you find them, John? Okay. Yes. Is there like 7 copies of it? Excellent. So the number one thing we need to do is get together a capable team. And Paula, you gave us a great example of why we need a capable team. Saxonburg, Clinton Presbyterian Church in Saxonburg, her sister in Tampa, Florida, does their social media. Well, Tampa, Florida is getting hit by a hurricane right now. And so
My sister did make it. My sister did make it on though.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. Are things okay down there?
They are for me at the moment. I have power. It's windy and rainy, so we'll see. We have a couple of hours to get through.
Well, thanks be to God. If you need to do anything, for your safety, by all means, you do it. We are recording this.
Perfect.
So this will be available for you to watch later on.
I'm happy to be able to be here while I can.
Well, thank you for being here. So building a capable team. And in case you haven't noticed, I like nice, quick little videos. So here's another one. I just love those commercials. So yeah, you know, if we have a capable team, if someone's, you know, out of town or in a hurricane, we can have other people to pick it up. Another great thing about having a capable team is you can literally logarithmically increase your capabilities and your reach. Because not everyone's going to be looking for the same type of things. You know, maybe one person takes 1 month or one person takes one topic, and that sort of becomes their field of expertise. And then the stuff that you'll be releasing, posting, can really be of the elite level, if that makes any sense. So let me go to the next slide. Whoops, not that again. The second point is to plan your work and work your plan. Okay, plan your work and work your plan. And here's another quick little video.
Like cars. True.
So let alone it being a nice little motivational thing. Number one, have a capable team. Number two, plan your work and work your plan. It's really easy in social media to go down rabbit holes. We all know and have friends and family who that's happened to, and they become different people. And so having a team is number one. Number two is stick to your plan. Okay. Most churches have a mission statement. So everything that we do should really sort of fall in line with either that mission statement or that next event that you're doing, or that thing that you're trying to promote, so on and so forth. And towards the end, I think it's point number 5 or 6, I can't remember, but we'll talk about what is the temperature, the character of your church, and make sure that your posts and your stuff is in line with that. Because if it's not, you're going to be attracting people that aren't really in line with you and maybe even alienating some people. So, sorry about that popping into the screen. No. Number one, communicate your goals, plan your work and work your plan, right? So that's the second point. Communicate your goals, generate buzz. I don't know how many churches and presbyteries I've been in where a sweet lady who has just put her heart and soul into Presbyterian women, gets up and says, well, we hardly have anyone who comes anymore. And won't you come and join us? We need younger people to get involved, Carrie. Please, won't you come and join this dying group that has nobody coming? Generate buzz. We've got wisdom. You can rub shoulders with people who have been there and done that, right? You know, this is something new. This is a new way of doing things. One of the things that I think we all love about the good word, right, is that it's the living word of God. I mean, some of us preach it and have been preaching for 25 years or even longer, and it changes. So there's always something new. There's always something, and if you have a capable team, and if you stick to your mission and your vision, you can have something new coming up on a very, very regular basis. Social media is great for current events, but it is so much more than that. You are communicating your church brand. So be thinking about that. What is your church brand? And stick to that. This is something that we talked about a little bit before we got started. And that is to have an editorial calendar. My friend Ellen's gonna give us a little bit about that.
It's a time of year when calendar kiosks are popping up everywhere. They used to just have like cat calendars and, you know, for you know, like a mom, and swimsuit calendars for dad. And now there's all kinds of calendars, and I thought I'd show you a few. These are real. Here's a calendar that I found, real calendars, and this one is called Nuns Having Fun. Let's take a look at November. Look at the joy on their faces. They really are having fun. Look at that. And this is one called Outhouses. It's just different pictures. Here's an outhouse here. September. Most people have pictures of like tropical islands or mountains, someplace that you dream to escape to. How bad is your office that this is where you want to get away?
Yes.
This one, I rather like. This is Goats and Trees, right here.
Goats and trees.
This is Morocco, I believe. Goats do like to climb, and this in goats get in trees. And look at all the goats in this tree. These are real photos. These are not photoshopped at all. Who, after a couple of drinks, doesn't do that? These actually gave me an idea for my own calendar, since these are popular. So I got one myself that I'm going to be selling. This is called Nuns and Trees. I hope they're flying nuns so they can get down.
So, yeah, editorial calendar is important. If you sit down with a calendar and your team, you know, obviously we have things like Easter, you know, Lent, Christmas, Advent, and other holidays, or other even regular events in your congregation that you're going to want to be promoting. Well, you try to leverage content that's leading towards that. You know, I didn't just find these videos. I've been searching for things for a long time. You know, when my parents and my brother would say, you're on social media too much, right? Just saving things. And ooh, I think I remember something here that would work for that. Something there that would work for that. And again, if you have a capable team that's sticking to your vision and the calendar that you'll put together, you'll have stuff every day to post that's not just random stuff, but stuff that is literally aimed and targeted, leveraged towards the mission and the vision of your church or the things that you have going on. So that enables us to streamline resources. It enables us to drive teamwork, to say, you know, Carrie, you got this month. Can I do anything to help? or maybe you don't have different people taking different months. Maybe we're all working on different things. But it keeps you, helps you to stay focused. And there is a plethora of free templates online. Just Google social media editorial calendar, and they'll pop up for you. And you can use them. Or you can use one of those calendars that Ellen, literally just a regular old paper calendar, and write in what's going on and what you're going to be doing. And then it gives you a target to be shooting for. Or the Presbyterian planning calendar. There you go, baby. John's got his right here. See? There you go. All right. So, some of you know earlier that I said Facebook is the way to go for this. And let me tell you why, besides this, kind of cool infographic. I'm trying to move this and it's not letting me. There we go. I think the next slide actually will go into more detail. So there are 2.7 billion people on Facebook. That's a third of the Earth's population. Under 30 years old is 63% of Facebook users. 63%. 25% are between 18 to 24 years old. Tell me those aren't the people, okay, that are missing from our congregations, missing from our pews, that if we could even just have a touch with them online, that when they need something or their kids need something, that, oh, I remember this John Silver guy, he said something pretty cool once, right? Or Carrie Dowdy, etc. It's a touch that might be able to get you. So 25% of 18 to 25-year-olds, that's 650 million people, nearly as large as Instagram or YouTube. Okay. The other thing about Facebook is it spans generations. My kids roll their eyes at Facebook, but they're on it. You know why? Because their grandparents are on it. I'm serious. My kids are on it. They hate what I post and what I do, but they're there because they're able to see what grandma's doing down in South Carolina, what my mother-in-law is doing over in Germany or whatever they're doing. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you knew that 80% of your community gathered every day in one place, wouldn't you want to build a church there? If you knew that 80% of your community gathered in one place, wouldn't you want to build a church there? That's Facebook. That's social media. The average person spends 19 hours in a week looking at Facebook. If you have a Facebook page, and if you're not standing in front of them, of your congregation, saying, please like, comment, and share our posts, because you can either pay for it. That's $600 a year that you pay to the paper to have an ad in on Sunday mornings. You can put that towards Facebook and get way more bang for the buck, or you can do it for free. We, on a regular basis, make an announcement. Please like and share. And if you're not following our Facebook page, please follow. Because did you know that when you make a post, if you simply put @followers on that post, it will go directly to every one of the people who are following your page. Unfortunately, they can turn that off, but most people don't know how. So that's my argument for why Facebook. Twitter's good for little pieces of information. YouTube's good for sharing long videos. Instagram's great for pictures. But Facebook really does it all. And by the way, Facebook owns Instagram, if you didn't know that. They regularly buy up smaller companies so that they can pretty much stay in the lead for everything. All right. I said this was coming. Listen for your church's voice. If what you're posting is Mr. Bean doing his comedy, and no one in your congregation knows who he is, right? Or no one in your community knows who they are. That's not going to work. So of course I love this one. Gets better. So listen for your church's, whoops, sorry. Listen for your church's voice. And this will be in the packet that I have out there. Think about the character or the persona of your church, the tone, right? The language that they use, and the purpose. And there's some helpful words in here that can help you determine when you're putting together your social media calendar, right? What type of stuff you want to be putting together to make sure that these things align up with the voice, the character of your congregation. Because if you don't listen to the voice of your congregation, right, you're going to go like this and bing. Yeah. I mostly did that just because I think it's funny, and I know that you'll remember this after you've laughed.
So these are suggested possibilities within the social media brand voice.
Yes.
One or two or more will relate and actually speak for who you are
Yes.
with integrity.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And maybe those 6 words or 6 phrases, or I guess there's 8 down there.
Mhm.
Maybe those aren't the 6 words that you put in there to try to find out who your tone is. But, when you're putting together your calendar or you're posting stuff, you have this up seeing, is this in line with who we are? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. That's what I have prepared. That went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. This is the resources that I use for this. Why don't we now open this up for questions? I apologize. When I did that earlier, it went a lot slower than that. What kind of questions do you have? Yes, please go ahead, Gina.
How do you build your followers on Facebook?
Okay. Thank you. That was one of the things that if I was able to do the presenter view, would have been in my notes. So thank you for asking that. We regularly have some of our youth. First of all, get on that team, get some of your youth, because they know how to do this stuff with their hands tied behind their back. This is their language. Okay. And what a great way to get them engaged and involved in the life of the church. That's number one. Number two, we'll have campaigns where we're trying to increase followership. And we'll have our youth sitting out in fellowship hall on their laptops, signing people up and actually showing them how to follow our Facebook page. And sometimes actually having them follow themselves. We've also done some video tutorials that, again, with one of these phones and one of these laptops, ask your kids, you know what? Ask the kids to do a video tutorial on how to become a follower of your Facebook page. And they'll do one, and everyone in the congregation will love it because they love your kids.
And if your kids at your church are over, or no, how do we want to frame that, Gina and Dave? They're
Like over 65?
I mean, we are the youth group, John.
Well, so here's what I would say. What a great way to get maybe your grandkids to come in and help out. You know, let's be honest. You know, our generation, the generations older than us, this is a part of our life. This is a part of the everyday being that we are. For the younger generations, it's not as much. And that's really changed a lot, unfortunately. So you say to your grandkids, I need some help. Can you come to church one day a month on a Sunday for fellowship hour or for coffee time, and sign people up on Facebook and have them follow our page? Yeah, sure. Anything for you, Grandpa. You've just exposed those, you know, your grandchildren to something good. And guess what? They'll now be looking for information from us online. That's a touch. That's a touch that they can have so that when they have needs, they might come knocking on your door.
Now, the other question that I have is once you develop these followers through social media, how do you turn them into the giving side of things? Because this all costs money to do. And I know we've, in our congregation, have been out there and we're posting out on a YouTube channel every Sunday and making it as easy as possible for folks to say, and if you like what you're seeing, you know, please feel free to, you know, send your contributions, etc. Well, ain't much of that happening.
So
that monetarily.
So number one of the great things about social media is that it really is free. You really do. I mean, we already have these iPhones. We already have these laptops. You know, you all are watching me from one of your mobile devices or your computers. So that's not an expense to the church. But your question very specifically is, how do we monetize it? One, we've got to make it very, very easy. QR codes. That's the language, and your kids or your grandkids will tell you this. Yeah, put a QR code up so that they can give this way. We pay something like 1.75% for the gifts that we get, and we pretty regularly get people giving online. We also, by the way, have really tried to move our entire congregation towards automatic giving, because typically what happens in a church is you have really good giving around Christmas, right? And then it dies down. And then it peaks at Easter, and then it dies down. And we're running around trying to figure out how we're going to make ends meet in between. Well, we've worked really hard on stewardship to try to get our people to give regularly, and to give automatically, you know, through withdrawals and debits and things like that. The only thing that I can tell you, I can't remember your name, I can see your face. But the only thing I can tell you is it takes time. It takes time. It takes sticking to it, in my experience. Okay. I wish I wasn't using my phone for the camera because I could show you the app that we have. And, you know, young people love apps. And they can give straight through that app. I'm not going to lie to you and say that we have a lot of people giving online. But what I will tell you is when we do have someone who gives online, it's usually a big gift. It's usually someone who's very generous. We recently, gotten connected, and we average 14 states a month worshiping with us. One of them happens to be in San Diego, and he regularly sends us $500 checks. I'm not going to say that's a norm, but it does happen. And when you make an appeal, we have a mission to South Dakota, to Pine Ridge Reservation, and the horse that Ron Cotner had there was sick, and so we made an appeal. We got $1,000 online from our online community giving towards helping that horse be healthy, because that's expensive. That's expensive. So again, I'm not going to lie to you and say it's automatic. We've been at this for a long time, and quite frankly, I have had to fight an uphill battle, because there are people who are asking that very question, and they want to shut this down if we're not getting something out of it. But we have stuck to it. We've kept with it, and we're balancing our budgets. So that's good. Only thing I can really say is stick with it. If you make an appeal because the back wall plaster is peeling, make that appeal online too. You'd be surprised. I think everyone here probably has some kind of an online presence, worshiping online, streaming it or something. If you make that appeal online, you'll get money online. Other
David,
question?
I have one.
Yes, Susan.
Two things. I'm kind of self-taught. Are there any resources that you know of that have webinars or anything on how to make your Facebook better?
Yeah, there
And
are
my other question is, I'm gonna go ahead and let you talk, that we have a Facebook group versus a Facebook page, and do you have any opinion on the benefits of one versus the other?
Ah, excellent. So here is sort of like a bibliography. Okay. If it says white paper on it, if you Google that, you'll find it. And they want to give these things out. And like I said, I will make this available to everyone after this.
Great.
Hold on, my mouse is just flying all over the place here. So that was the first part of your question. What was the second part, Susan?
Facebook page versus Facebook group.
Okay, so a group is private. Okay, Facebook is public. If you do a group, you are broadcasting or posting your stuff only to the people who are members of that group. And quite frankly, if I'm part of a group with John or Carrie and they post something that I really, really like, they post it to that group and I want to share it, it does not automatically happen that everyone of my friends and followers gets to see that. Only people of your group get to see it. So the downside, the upside of a group is it's private, it's insulated, it's safe. The downside of a group is it's not public. So you're losing all of the benefits of social media.
I think our group is set to public. And I know that we have, that I can share something from our group to my personal page. So I guess my people see it, but
I think I misunderstood and just assumed that you meant that it was a private group. So yeah, groups are great. We use groups for small groups. And we tend to want those to be private so that people within the small group can share things with each other.
I gotcha. So do you think the public group is enough?
I would do an all-out Facebook page, not just a group, because then, we talked about a editorial calendar, a social media calendar, right? I would make a flow chart of, this is our Facebook page. These are the different groups that we have, and they all connect to that page.
Okay, thank you.
So we could have different groups for the different committees that we have at our church. Is that what you mean? That
Yes,
would
ma'am,
all
you can.
connect with the page.
You can have limitless groups. And
I
if you don't know how to do that, ask your kids or your grandkids. I mean, I could show you, or Susan could show you.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I think I
But
like
so-
the
so the-
idea. We have very limited number of people in our church that has any idea what Facebook even is. So I like the idea of having the young kids possibly being, in the back of the church or during fellowship time, showing them how to get on there and like and comment and share. Because I think that's, whether it's a group or a page, I feel like that's where you get in people's algorithms with seeing the stuff that we do at our church.
Yes.
Part
You
of
know,
what I think Facebook could be good for is, like you're saying, you have a lot of followers that are from out of state, and I don't know if you said that they attend virtually at worship or not, but we're trying to get the unchurched in our neighborhood to respond and come virtually or in person, and that's a struggle with not knowing how to do that on Facebook in a productive way.
So here's a helpful hint, helpful tip. Do you know hashtags and the whole concept of hashtags?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So, hashtag, we used to call them pound symbols, right? It's the like 2 plus signs put together like that. So that's a hashtag. So if I was at Clinton Presbyterian Church in Saxonburg, every post I had would have hashtag Saxonburg.
Huh.
Okay, because that then becomes part of the algorithm for your area.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good.
At Clinton Presbyterian Church or Clinton PC or something like that, is something you put on your things, because then that will constantly go right back to your webpage, your Facebook. It will lead them to you.
Just by typing that in, you don't have to set that up somehow, like you do
Well,
the Anglican church.
you need to set it up and be consistent with it, yeah, because we can't do Calvin Presbyterian Church because there's another one in our presbytery or close by. I think it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think it's in Pittsburgh. So we have to do Calvin Church Zealy.
And then
And
when you
you
were
can-
saying about the at followers so that it goes out, because I get those notifications all the time with Facebook pages that I've liked. Can you say where in a post that you would put at followers, like anywhere within the comment section, and then it goes out to anybody who's following you?
Ideally, it's within the text of the post. So, you know what? Hold on a second. I'll show you I'll just give you an example. Okay, so I'm going to try to share screen and show you my Facebook page. So let's get there and get here. Okay, do you all see my Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay. So earlier today, 5 or 6 of my friends and I went and did a garbage cleanup. And we did it in honor of a guy named Scott Hamill, who passed away recently. He's a member of our church. That's his wife down there at the bottom. And we now do that. I think every 3 months we're supposed to be doing that. Okay. And what I did, okay, is I put on my, and this is just my personal Facebook page, but I also did it on Calvin's Facebook page. Great time with great folks, honoring a great man, Scott Hamill. Calvin Presbyterian Church, at followers. So now every one of my 641 followers will get that post.
Huh.
Just pretend this was the church's Facebook page.
Yeah.
every one of your followers, which hopefully you'll get all of your members to follow,
Mhm.
we'll be able to get that. Does that make sense? So
does,
right up here, when you make the post, just get in the habit of putting
Yeah.
in @followers.
So literally.
That
the
ensure
outs-
that, does that ensure
followers.
that it will show up in their timeline then?
They will get a notification.
Notification, yeah.
They will
Oh,
get a notification that's there, and they have to choose to click on it. Okay.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want,
Okay,
so let's just say, oh gosh,
If they want to see it, it's right on the top of mine. David Paul mentioned you and other followers in your post.
Oh, right.
so
Literally right on top.
it's right there at on Carrie's page. Because I just put @followers on it.
If I click on that, it will take me right.
Okay.
to this post.
So let's just pretend that I put a really great picture there, okay? Here, okay, I'll try to find a decent picture or just something. Okay, we'll just go with this. Oh, it's gonna freeze up on me. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. We're gonna try this one more time. Okay, oh, here we go. So, okay, so just a picture of Ted Lasso. So you see this tag people thing?
Mhm.
Okay, see that thing right there?
Yeah.
You click on that, and the people who are most often part of your life are gonna be, look, you'll see it's my daughter, my wife, my dad, my brother, my son, my dad's girlfriend, lady friend. They're not boyfriend, girlfriend, you know what I mean?
Yep.
My daughter, and then a bunch of other people. And a lot of these, I mean, like there's Lee Banish, right?
Mhm.
A lot of these people are friends from church. This is a friend from North Carolina. I've never actually met her before. But she walks our labyrinth and worships with us every week. She grew up here. And so if you click on their names, okay, I'll just like click on a bunch of these people. Okay, you'll see, with, Doug Tilton, Kelly Morgans, David English, and 4 other people, they will get this unless they have settings on their Facebook page not allowing people to post on their page. They will get this posted to their page. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't allow people to post on my page because I've got some friends who are pretty wappy and post some stuff completely inappropriate for a pastor or a counselor. And so I do not allow people to post to my page as just a rule of thumb.
Mine goes to like a notification. I have to allow it.
Yep. I have to allow it also. So does that make sense?
Mhm.
That's my mom, by the way. That's her 80th birthday. That's her husband, Bob. She worships with us from South Carolina. And during the pandemic, we sent her 5 bags of sea glass, 2 pounds of sand, and some wire because we did things. We made worship centers. And she's like, can you send some of that to me? So we did. The smallest bag I could send from Amazon of sea glass was 5 pounds. So she divided it up and gave it to 4 of her friends. Those 4 friends still worship with us, even though they go to John Knox Presbyterian Church in Simpsonville, South Carolina. They also like worshiping with us. So you can see how that sort of happens and works. Other questions for the common good? Comments, concerns? I'm surprised I haven't heard any concerns. We have a problem with social media, smartphones in our youth.
Say more.
When John and I were young boys, we might have gotten in trouble for looking at certain magazines. Okay. These kids, if you don't know how to control it, they've got access to stuff raunchier and a million times more disgusting than anything we would have picked up at the open pantry or the 7-Eleven or from a friend. And all of these platforms are designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
There's a reason why reels are so short.
Yeah, speak it to that for a minute, because maybe not everybody knows what a reel is, but it is definitely a trap.
Okay. Do you guys know what a reel is?
Yes.
Yes.
So a reel is basically an hour or excuse me, a minute and a half long video. Okay. And it's Facebook's version of TikTok. And Instagram also does them, but again, understand that Facebook owns Instagram. Okay. And I make these right from my phone. And they're, you know, a minute 30 or less. And they usually, quite frankly, have some jazzy music in the back of them. I'll just show you one of these.
Friends, if we're going to love and defend our LGBTQ plus citizens, we must be up against far more than we can handle on our own. We must take all the help that we can get, every defense that God has issued, so that when it's all over and we'll still be on our feet. We don't need the full armor of God. Our lives, God's word and prayer, they are indispensable defenses. We must be our lives on each other's spirits, so that anyone falls, we are ready to take them, to take them forward. Lisa first Sanders.
Now, I bet you just about everybody here is gonna be like, oh, that music, oh, that was too loud. I couldn't understand you, etc. My response to that is good. It wasn't for you. It was for the people younger than us, because that's how they do things. Everything has a soundtrack. And that, quite frankly, is something that I usually do in the evenings, when my wife and my children are in bed and I'm twiddling my thumbs on the couch saying, you got to go to bed at some point. It's not that hard to do.
But was that part of your live feed?
Yes.
Off the sermon from
Yes.
whatever Sunday, and you just
Yes.
sliced and diced that piece?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, look at the reach that these are getting. You know, 2,000, 1.3 thousand, 1,000. Now, I'll also tell you that back here, I think this one right here is actually a better reel, but I was putting a bunch of hashtags on it. So I was putting hashtag Mark 9, hashtag God, hashtag Jesus, hashtag Holy Spirit. And one of our young people said to me, you do understand you're confusing the algorithm. You need 3 hashtags at the most. So I think for this one, I did like, you know, hashtag LGBTQ, hashtag armor of God, and probably hashtag Zealy, Resilient Opal, if that makes sense. Here's one from General Assembly that got 27,000. That's our dancing. Yeah.
May or may not be.
No, you are in there. You guys want to see?
No.
But don't get me wrong. Let me assure you, I have people who are like, you shouldn't be wasting your time doing that. Our session agrees with it. Our session supports it.
Let me ask, this as an up and coming pastor, how much time does this take you to do to add into?
Oh, so one of those little reels, honestly, that probably takes me 15 minutes to half an hour. Once you learn how to do it. And I do it all from my phone. I don't even do it from my laptop. If I did it from my laptop, it'd be much better. But that's not what people want nowadays and need nowadays. Thank you, Susan. Blessings.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
By the way, do I see that your thing there is the Steelers logos?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
She's a real big fan.
Love it. Go Steelers.
Yep. She would agree with that.
Thank you, David. I need to go. I appreciate it.
Blessings, Judy.
Thank you.
Blessings. Any other questions I can answer?
Have you
I
ever,
think,
I'm sorry, Pastor, have
Yes,
you
go ahead.
ever posted events on your page
Yes,
that
we
you
do.
have? And do some of them require a like a RSVP or anything like that? Or is it just you'd like to know if anybody's interested or they're coming? Is that difficult to do?
No, events are very, very easy on Facebook.
Easier on a group than just on a page? Like if
Yes.
I want to do it on my personal page and we have the church's page, it's just as easy to do it either place, right? Okay.
Yep. You know, and as you're asking these questions, one of the things that it becomes very apparent to me is that the effort that we made to get people from our congregation who weren't on Facebook so that they can be a part of this world is significant. A lot of them actually have come to us and said, yeah, I now see my grandkids in Portland. You know, wow, I can't believe I missed this for so long. But we had a group of people here at Calvin who were really anti social media and Facebook. And we had to do our research and give them the right responses to their concerns. We could do a whole thing about children and safety with social media and smartphones. I'll just give it to you in a nutshell. If I ever get on my kids' phones and they know I'm going to get on them, and I don't know the password to something, they lose their phone for a week. And they scream bloody murder when it happens. I need to know every password to everything on their phone. And I need to be able to look at the history of things. And if you don't do that, you really need to. They have password keepers on phones that are super easy and logical. Because they can have an app that looks like a calculator that's really not a calculator. That is a code to get into a folder that has stuff in it that they don't want anyone else to see.
David, I have to go. I'm sorry, but thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Gary. Blessings.
Blessings to you too.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Go ahead, Paula.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just that a lot of the people in my church, I think it's the fear of technology more than being worried about getting into the, just right from the jump, there's a fear of confusion or frustration that keeps them, because all the people that aren't on Facebook have kids or grandkids that are, and it's hard to motivate them to want to do it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and I think the only thing I have to say for that is that the way that we got some of our people over that hump, again, was having my kids and other people's kids in fellowship hall on laptops answering people's questions.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And quite frankly, this is good for me because we haven't done that for a while, and we probably need to do it again. I can't believe it isn't on our calendar. That's something that we do every year. You know, little Facebook safety update, etc. You know, a lot of older people, and I'm one, don't like changing passwords. If you don't change your passwords, you're susceptible.
Don't use the same one for everything.
No. I've got almost 3,000 passwords between my kids' stuff, my wife's stuff, and my stuff, and we share it. I can't show it to you because I'm using that as the, here, hold on. I can show it to you. Because I have an online version of it. Let me share screen with you again. Okay. I'm gonna go down here and go over to e-wallet. See, right now it's synchronizing with what's on my phone because it was out in the cloud. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it. So, I mean, look at all of those passwords.
Holy smokes.
Like I said, there's 2,700, I think, at last count. And you'll see, Adeline's Gmail. I think Anna's down here. I saw Anna down here. Just a bunch of different things. And then you click on it and you see the password. And it's on my phone and it's on here. And this is encrypted.
I was gonna say, I mean, if you don't want to be able to get that schnockered from somebody and all of a sudden there you go.
No, and it actually comes with something like $100,000 thing that if someone hacks that, they'll give you they'll reimburse you up to $100,000. And I'm cheap. I don't pay for apps. If I paid for that app, it would do a lot of other neat, funky things. Remember, I think one of the things it does is it goes in and regularly changes your passwords for you. I just do that myself because I'm cheap. So yeah, get a password manager. I think those are very important. Other things, other questions, comments, concerns.
What are there, from your experience of posting, and I mean, I think I'm looking to Gina at this point. I think we have the ability to monitor our content, but from your experience, stuff posted by your team that you've learned are absolute buzzkills. That this was that was.
So believe it or not, things unrelated to church. So let's say that I found Simon Sinek. If you don't know who he is, he's a young guy who's very wise and does these nice little talks. And I'll find something of his and I'll post because I think it's meaningful, it's potent. And I'll post it to our Facebook page, and our people don't like it because it's not our stuff. And it's not our people doing our stuff. Full disclosure, never post anything that's above PG. And know that the ratings for PG, for rated G, rated PG, and R have changed over time. They're much more lenient than they used to be. When I grew up, rated R meant that there would be nudity and language. You now have nudity and language on PG stuff. And know that just because it's a cartoon doesn't mean that it's not more than PG. I didn't see some things the way that others saw things, and was very, very humbled by it, because after I saw it through their eyes, realized that the definition of what is sexist and what isn't sexist, what is guy talk and what isn't guy talk, has changed a lot. Just like the ratings of G, PG, and R have changed, our sensitivity to things has changed a lot. My daughters often say to me, "Dad, you can't really say that." And they're right. I don't even realize it sometimes. Another reason why a team is so important.
Do you, and I assume that you recommend that, especially relative to the brand and voice, that we hear the voices that put those out there. So it's not just you doing a reel, perhaps, it's somebody else.
We're
doing a
getting
reel.
there. We're getting there. So we did children's messages as videos, and we had 3 different people working on them. Originally it was just me, and then I trained someone else, and then we had a youth who came in and basically trained us. So yeah, the more people you have doing things like that, the better. Whenever we have pulpit supply, I always ask their permission to make a reel. And they often ask, what's that? And I say, it's just a minute 30, minute 30 or less long video that highlights something from your message. Because that's what people watch and listen to nowadays. Last call. Questions, comments, concerns, anything. And
David,
I'm just saying last call because I don't want to be on forever, not for your sake, for my sake. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say I found this very interesting, and we went on line during COVID, like many people did, and we had people that opposed that, and we even lost a couple over it, believe it or not.
Yep.
But we also worship in New Jersey. We have Cincinnati. We have a family in Cincinnati, and we had trouble getting on YouTube for a couple of weeks, and we got it fixed here last week. And a woman, she come up to me, give me big hugs and everything because their family. I said, well, we were on Facebook, yeah, but on YouTube they watch it on television. So, you never know where this is reaching, and I thank you for all this. I made a lot of notes, so
Yeah. Anything we can do to help. I'll show you real quick. So this is our provider. This is something that you pay for, okay? Because we want to do the whole service, and often YouTube and Facebook their bots, quite frankly, will ding you for the music that you use, even though we pay CLC licenses and things like that. Okay. But let's just look at this Sunday here. Okay. I go into analytics, and we had 120 views, 120 views. Now that doesn't necessarily mean 120 people watched it. Because if you watch it, you might view it 2 or 3 times, because streaming does buffering and stuff so fast we don't even see it. But 107 of those were unique, as in only people. And here's the map of 3 countries and 12 states that worship with us.
and
It is
each
powerful.
each one of those may be more than one person, or it usually is.
It usually is. Very few people worship online alone. I will tell you right now that right there is that little dot that you see there is probably my and or her friends down in South Carolina. So yeah, I mean the power of this is real. And if seminaries don't teach us, they should, because I'm pretty sure they don't. But we ought to. I bet you that they're starting to.
Everything's online at seminary now.
Yeah.
They only have like 2
in-person courses.
Well, no, they're not even an in-person course. They're like 2 weekends that people come in for intense, but everything's online.
It's amazing.
There isn't any. And they did that for that reason, to get the other states, other people who aren't in Pittsburgh but want to go to PTS.
Yeah. All right, folks.
Yep.
Blessings. My
Thank you very
contact
much.
information. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I will get that slide show and PowerPoint to the presbytery so they can put it on the website so you all can have access to it. I will also we'll have a recording of this so that other people can watch it when and if they need to.
Where would we
Alrighty.
find that? Where would we find the recording? I'm sorry.
I don't know for sure. But it's gonna be, you know, Beaver-Butler-Presbytery.org.
Okay.
I think it's .org, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And they also, I know that the Presbytery has a YouTube channel, so they might put this on the YouTube channel.
I think they might do that.
John, did you sort of like take attendance?
I didn't take attendance, I took a number.
Well, we can look at the recording.
Right.
Okay, so
I did things the old back way I read them all.
there, Carrie wrote them all down.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
Thank
There
you.
go. So we will get in touch with you about how to have access to this.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thank you. Good night,
Blessings.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.